Hey guys, what's up? Lewin here at Garageband and beyond. Welcome back for episode 3 of How to Record a Song Like a Pro, where you guys are basically just watching me record one of my original songs using the methods that I use, the instruments that I use, the microphones that I use, how I set them up, how we mix them, what plugins I like to use for mixing and for mastering will all be coming up soon. However, today we're doing a Hammond organ, so thank you to everybody who wrote in, Facebook, you leaving comments here on the last video, and hitting the poll. Anyway, so more people requested a real Hammond organ. So for those of you who wanted to see me use... Whoa! So for those of you who wanted to see me use the Garageband version of the Hammond organ, I did actually make a video on how to use that in a way to make it sound more realistic. So go ahead and click the link that's popping up by my head now, or I'll leave it in the more info area below, but that's what you're looking for. And so thankfully enough of you voted for me to use my real Hammond organ, so that was awesome. I had to buy an extra microphone and everything for it, another 57, no big deal. But anyway, so this is my 1953 Hammond M3. If you're someone who's been looking for a B3 for years, but can't afford it and don't have space, look for an M3. They're absolutely fantastic. They have the same exact tone generators inside of these that they do in a B3. We have less octaves on an M3, and I don't have any presets down here. You know, there's none of those black keys, which are presets on a B3. But anyway, M3s are like $200 to $300, and I see them pretty often on Craigslist and eBay and stuff like that. If you do go get one, remember you have to lock down the tone generator before you move these things. They're really kind of delicate, and you got to be careful. So anyway, so that's that. So I have my M3 plugged into one of my favorite toys, my Motion Sound Pro 3, which is an actually spinning speaker. I can stop it and make it go slow and fast, just like that. And so you'll hear that happening throughout the performance. So just so you also know, there is a crossover in this. So this guy is only doing all the high end. This gold cable going down to my deluxe reverb down there, which I do have a video on. Make sure you check that out. And that microphone on the deluxe reverb is a CAD Audio D82. I don't have 357s, but I did want to point out how awesome this little ribbon microphone is. At around $100, you cannot go wrong buying any of those CAD microphones. It's the D80, the D82, and the D84, I think they are. One is dynamic, one's a ribbon, and one is a condenser, and they are really good $100 microphones. I bought all three of them because they're just so much fun to have around. They're totally useful. In those situations where you're like, oh, I wish I had something different. This little microphone, this ribbon mic, total thumbs up microphone. Anyway, so that is what's going on here. Now, of course, I am going into GarageBand. I'm using my Sapphire Pro 24 DSP. Because that is an interface with a chip in it, I can actually compress my signals before they get to GarageBand. So since a Hammond organ is a dynamic sound, I have a volume pedal that I'll be using. I have the drawbars that I'll be opening and closing. Just so you know, as the drawbars get pulled open, we get more series of overtones from the overtone series. Let's say it that way, right? Right. So that's that. So that is another volume change that I will be dealing with throughout the performance. So I do have a compressor running just to make sure that if I get extra loud at any point, it's tamed in some way so I don't distort. The last thing I need to point out, if you're recording any spinning speaker, this is how you do it right here. This is pretty key thing about recording spinning speakers. So this 57 right here is recording the horn and pointed at it in a manner where it's getting the horn as it's going away from it, okay? Now you come over here to the other side, this 57 is recording the horn as it's coming at it, okay? So that is totally essential when you're recording spinning speakers. This might not happen to you very often, but if you do come across an actually spinning speaker, you got to do that, right? Because otherwise it's a tremolo. If you put them straight on, not only will you most likely have phase issues, but these are kicked at 90 degrees, just so you know. But the other problem is that it ends up just sort of being more like a tremolo, where it's like loud, soft, loud, soft. This is much more of you get the Doppler effect of the sound, right? That is what makes a spinning speaker so cool, is the way that, you know, a spinning speaker just sounds totally awesome. It's the Doppler effect, it's the acoustics of the room, everything gets played with as a spinning speaker spins. So getting that coming at you and going away from you thing is very key. Now, as I have stated also in the Garageband Hammond organ video, I'm going to say it here again quickly, you will be watching me manipulate these drawbars as I go through the performance. To, you know, help it, you know, just breathe a little bit throughout the verse. Then as the chorus comes in, you'll hear, you know, a lot more drawbars open up, and you'll hear the spinning speaker go a lot more consistently. It will be going on and off, but not nearly as much as it will be in the verse. It will be mostly off. Every now and then you'll hear it pop on. I think that's mostly it. I think, you know, this is a very difficult instrument to record, but once you sort of get it down, it's very fun. If you just buy an M3, you guys. If anybody out there wants a B3, can't afford it, buy an M3 and thank me later. I do have a video on this one. So anyway, it's headphone time. How to be a better man. So we walked and we talked on the sidewalk, we used truck, and then the summer winds just blew it all away. But it took days. What I heard in every word is that it hadn't yet occurred. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm having a hell of a time getting the ending of this song. I've literally been trying to do this for about 3 hours now to get the Hammond organ part about 80% of the way there. It is a tough thing to get right, especially if you're not used to just working inversions with your right hand in one position. You know, it's one of the trickiest parts of the Hammond organ if you're not like a proficient Hammond organ player like me. I don't do it every single day, so I do get a little rusty sometimes. So, I'm going to try to punch in the last choruses, you know, so we'll call it the pre-chorus. I'm going to be right before there. So one of the trickiest things about punching a Hammond organ in is the fact that everything's changing all the time, right? So that drawbars are changing, the spinning speaker is fast or slow, and I have a volume pedal which is often in a different position. So that makes it tough to get those parameters right when you know, want to have it punch in exactly at that moment so that it matches the old track. Fingers crossed I'm getting it right at this point, but I think I got it. So let's try this take 1 bazillion and 1. I didn't screw up the ending. Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't believe it. Yeah, that was so much more difficult than I thought it was going to be.